The Department of Public Works and Highways' decision to validate all projects prepared under former Secretary Manuel Bonoan. Let's now go live with Hannah T for the details. Hi, Hannah. What did the agency find out so far?
The new DPWH leadership is working to clean up the 2026 proposed budget as senators flag a few projects that are possibly duplicate or questionable. DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon admitted that the budget was prepared under the previous administration of former Secretary Manuel Bonoan, and his team is now validating and justifying flagged entries. So far, 798 out of 946 projects worth 11.66 billion pesos have been cleared. But senators warned that duplicate entries must be removed if not fully justified. Dizon presented examples of projects from Kalinga, NCR, Ilocos, Antique, and Bukidnon where budget allocations were repeated even as works were still ongoing or nearly completed. He said geotagged and date photos will now be required to avoid double funding and ensure transparency. Senate Finance Committee Chair Win Gatchalian gave the DPWH until Friday to submit its final validation. Otherwise, those projects will be deleted from the 2026 General Appropriations Act or GAA. Senator Erwin Tulfo raised concerns about reblocking, a common practice where roads are repeatedly torn up and funded again. Dizon confirmed this and said all reblocking activities were earlier suspended nationwide last October 7 until new rules are issued. Clear guidelines will define when reblocking is allowed to prevent abuse, and he also agreed to a pre-audit process with a commission on audit to close loopholes. Meanwhile, Senator Loren Legarda also thanked President Bongbong Marcos and Secretary Dizon for heeding the clamor to fix the system. This after President Bongbong Marcos ordered the DPWH to cut standard costs of construction materials by up to 50% to fight overpricing, a move expected to save 30 to 45 billion pesos. Senator Legarda says this is a significant step to restore public trust. Lawmakers now urge more transparency, especially on party list allocations, including names of contractors and politicians involved. And Dizon said this is now being investigated by the ICI or the Independent Commission for Infrastructure.
Hannah, paano naman yung mga generic entry na project sa DPWH budget?
That's also being investigated by the DPWH. Actually, that's part of the flagged projects dun nga sa kanilang pondo na una nang ni-raise ni Senator Win Gatchalian last week. And sabi nga ni Gatchalian, dapat mas specific na yung line items ngayon sa national budget kasi if we can recall, dun sa 2025 GAA, may pagka-generic or hindi actually, most of the projects are generic, kumbaga walang station numbers at wala ring exact locations. Ngayon, ito na yung pinipigilan ng DPWH under Dizon's term na mangyari para maiwasan na nga yung questionable projects na nagli-lead sa corruption. Back to you, Mai.
Really hoping they will clean this up. Thank you, Hannah T, reporting to us live from the Senate.